Christine Handy joining us on the show, live in Irving as I'm live in Houston.
I'm sitting in your chair, Brian. I'm in your seat. I'm in the hot seat.
You are in the hot seat. Oh, my goodness. Now, the chair explodes at about 9:02.
Oh, perfect. I'll be gone by then. Thank you.
Okay.
Good warning.
But you spend half your time in Dallas, but you also spend half your time in South Florida.
I do. Lucky me.
Let's talk about your book. And you were on last time when the book, I think, first came out.
Yes.
What's the update on that?
The update is the book's doing really well. It's inspired a lot of people. It's been very exciting for me. The book is actually being republished by a different publisher out of New York called Morgan James, and which is very exciting because he can get my book, that particular publisher. It's the third largest publisher in the country, and he can get that book all over the world. And so the
book is called Walk Beside Me, by the way. I didn't mention that before. Yeah, Walk Beside Me.
The book is called Walk Beside Me by Christine Handy, and it's a fictional depiction of the life I lived for the past 10 years, and it's done very well. And it's led to this platform for me, which has been great to become more of a speaker and to inspire other people.
Absolutely, and you've got an amazing story.
Thank
how,
you.
Not just, overcoming medical issues, but there's a lot of personal issues as well.
Yes.
And I think this is a book, and when you talk to people and people read the book, they're going to get a lot from it, and they're going to be able to hopefully take some of that and incorporate that into their own lives to better themselves as well.
I hope so. I hear that from people, from readers, and my email address is on my website, and I get really lovely emails from people talking about how my book has helped them, and people that don't have breast cancer or haven't had breast cancer, but for the other issues. So that's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Okay. All right. Also, coming up later in the show, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Christine, because office culture has changed over the years, and it seems like now you have baby boomers, you have Gen Xers, you have millennials, all within the same workplace, and of course now you kind of have the culture has changed as far as even people saying Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, and sometimes that's even forbidden in the office. But I want to talk a little bit about, does your office do a Secret Santa? And what's some of the worst Secret Santa gifts you've ever gotten? Now, I can only imagine gifts that are safe for the workplace that people end up giving. That old fruitcake.
Yes.
Which I had the other day for the first time. I had a fruitcake, and it was absolutely horrible, and I don't know why anybody gives fruitcakes.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, does your office have a Christmas party, and do you do a Secret Santa? Also, which city is better, Dallas or Houston? Now, I know there's these are fighting words, Christine. I might watch what I say, even though no one's up this early poolside. Yeah. But I better whisper. I better be very quiet, because if I kind of voice my opinion one way or the other, I could get tossed in the pool. But
yes, you could.
We're going to talk about traffic, business, people, sports, politics, food, nightlife. Which city is better, Houston or Dallas? We've got some actually experts that have weighed in on this topic, and it's really interesting to see what that turns out. Plus, I've got 5 things that you can do right now with $1,000. All right, $1,000 that will better your life and grow you not only financially, but spiritually as well.
How do you know this stuff? Where did you get this stuff from?
Do I have your attention?
Where did you get that from?
I have experts poolside. Okay. I have tons of experts that are just poolside right now with me.
Are you guys drinking?
No, not yet. And I am looking for a pool boy just walked by.
Oh,
and he did not establish eye contact with me, which makes me think he was afraid that I was going to pull him in.
Well, if you're in your Speedo, that might be the reason.
Yeah, you know what? If it wasn't bright yellow, perhaps that probably if it was a different color, perhaps. But the bright yellow Speedo is just deflecting the people here. When's the last time you were in Houston, Christine?
So many years ago. I'm not even worthy of this conversation.
So you could not add any perspective.
No, I probably can't add on the Houston side. So I'm probably going to have to go with Dallas.
Yeah. Now, how do you like South Florida?
I like it. You know, it's different.
Yeah.
There's good and bad in every single city. And you try to overlook the bad in the cities, but it's good. It's a beautiful place to live. It's very sunny, and I get to look at the ocean, which is very peaceful for me.
And of course, you know, South Florida is no stranger to preparing for Super Bowls as well.
Yes, particularly
they've
Miami. Yeah, they've had a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And of course, Dallas. You know,
yes,
having the Super Bowl there several years ago with the ice.
Yes.
The worst timing ever.
That's anybody. That's all people remember about that Super Bowl is the ice. I don't think people even remember who won.
No, I couldn't even tell you who played, to be honest with you.
I think I remember that Green Bay played, but I don't remember who else played.
Okay. But I don't think they're going to have any weather issues here in Houston. But I will tell you that the excitement is here. I've talked to a lot of people on the streets. I was walking around like a tourist.
Well, it's a big deal to have the Super Bowl in that city. I mean, it's a big deal to have that Super Bowl in any city. It's a big deal.
Absolutely, and of course, with the Final Four was a big deal.
Yeah.
And this seems, you know, some of the local businesses and these developments, and especially the hotels around this area, have really planned for this. Ever since it was announced years ago that they would host a Super Bowl, they've made preparations. I know here at the Four Seasons, they have been under construction for about 9 months, getting ready for this and adding to the lobby and to the entrance and doing some of the amenities around the pool area that's all new. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to Hillary Rosenstein. She is the PR manager here at the Four Seasons, and get her perspective on just what they have done to prepare for the Super Bowl. And then we're going to talk about, as I said, does your office still do a Secret Santa? And
I can't believe we're talking about Christmas so soon.
Yeah, I know.
Before Thanksgiving,
I had my Christmas tree up.
Have you seen all the Christmas lights in Dallas?
Are you kidding me? Have you seen the Christmas lights at my house? I've had it at my house. So we'll talk about that. Plus, what city is better to live in? What is better, Houston or Dallas? I'll leave it up to you because I don't want to get tossed in the pool. As we are live here at the Four Seasons in downtown Houston. This is DFW Business Today, or the show otherwise known as the Mullet Show of Business. We are all business in the front, but we are one heck of a party in the back. You're listening to 620 AM KEXB, your experts in business. We'll see you in a few. We're live from Houston. Stick around. Welcome back. 7:17 right here at 620 AM KEXB, your experts in business. We are live in Houston at the Four Seasons Hotel downtown. Unfortunately, Michael Clark is back in the studios.
Oh, please.
I took one for the team. Also joining us in the studio is Christine Handy, author of the book Walk Beside Me. We will be talking later in the show about the economic impact that the Super Bowl will have here in Houston as they get ready for it come February. Now, I can only imagine there's a lot of Cowboy fans out there right now. They think they might be making that trip down I-45 South.
Oh, Cowboys.
And I might be one of them, to be honest with you. I think they look fantastic. And I know we did talk about this the other day, but Tony Romo's speech that he gave at the press conference was very impressive, and his commitment to supporting Dak as a quarterback and taking that whole controversy out. And I think that's just great for the team. And who knows? They could be making their way down here to the Four Seasons.
You think it could be an all Texas Super Bowl?
You know what? I was walking, as I walked the streets yesterday, trying to, tell people where I lived. And, of course, I had to run after I told them I lived in Dallas. But they're not as optimistic as Cowboy fan. Cowboy fan truly thinks they're going to the promised land. Texan fan, not so much. Not so much. They've got some injuries out there. So they're pumping the brakes on the hype. But nevertheless, they are 6-3, I believe. So not a bad record. But we're going to talk about which city is better economically, socially, everything. Dallas or Houston. And thank God that nobody's out the pool right now. Or if I start talking bad about Houston, they might just throw me in this pool. Or, hey, there's a hot tub over there as well. So I do not mind getting in the hot tub because I am wearing my yellow Speedo right now. Michael?
That's wonderful. I'm glad that show topics finally showed up in my email, Brian.
There you go. You got the show topic.
Yes.
Was it in spam, Michael?
No, it wasn't. He just sent it again. It finally went through.
Not only that, but, because I have this archaic email service,
system,
it probably used a donkey.
Yeah,
and a
probably
bird.
the same as mine. Do you use Charter?
Well, I'm a like a, what is it, a Microsoft Mail account, Michael?
He's
What is
using
that
a
coming from?
Microsoft Live account from
good
1999.
Lord. Oh, okay.
Yeah, good Lord.
But it's hard to change your email
I
because
know.
that's
I'm
what
probably the guy
everybody
that still-
knows.
But I'm probably the guy that still uses AOL that pays for AOL. Like I'm still paying my $9.99 a month for AOL. That's and dial-up. But anyway, I'm glad you got that. We will talk about the construction around the area as well. The PR director for the Four Seasons will be on the show, talk about what they've done here locally to their hotel. And we'll talk about the economic impact it has. Some say it can make an economic impact anywhere from 100 million to 500 million. Now, that seems like excessive to me, but
Well,
if you
you're
take
in
a look
Texas.
well,
You're in
that, you
Texas.
take a lot. That's a lot of beer. That's a lot of beer drinking. You know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of beer drinking going on. Okay, and we'll talk about does your office still do a Secret Santa? I don't know, Michael. Does our office do a gift exchange? Because I don't think I don't remember going to anything last year.
Well, you may not have gone, but we do. Yeah.
Did you participate in that?
I believe that I have for several years in the past. Yeah, it's like you bring $10 present, and everybody just switches them around. Yeah.
Okay. Did you give a fruitcake or anything like that, or did you give something?
The popular ones are usually Starbucks gift cards, so that's what
There
everybody
you
brings. Yeah.
So you're basically
Okay.
passing around the same gift.
Yeah, we're passing around Starbucks gift cards that are in
So
different
you're buying
packages.
it for yourself.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, because you cannot go wrong with a Starbucks gift card. All right, let's talk about your book, A Walk
Okay.
Beside Me. And of course, if you're faced in life with some challenges as far as overcoming something at work or your health wise or relationship wise, this book is very inspirational. Let's talk about that.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. My book is very inspirational. Yes, that's what I've been told. That's what I feel. I'm working on book number 2, which is a little bit different. But Walk Beside Me is a book about the experiences I've had in the last 10 years. It's a fictional depiction of that, and it's a bestseller. So people seem to like it. I've actually been recognized twice.
Yeah, well, look at you. Now,
I'm a celebrity.
Take me through the process of what it takes to write a book. What timeline? I mean, it would take me probably to write anything. A 500-word essay, it might take me a month to do that.
Well, I think that you have to be a writer. It's a very different process for somebody that wants to just write. I can write for hours, and I think the time has gone by so quickly. I wrote a little bit every day right after I went through chemotherapy, and so I had a lot of time to do it because I was still resting and trying to get better from the chemotherapy. And so it took me about 9 months, and that process was very different than what I had possibly imagined. And then after that,
Now-
you have editors who take your manuscript and they edit it, and then they send it back to you, and then it takes about 9 more months to publish it. So it's about 1.5 years on the slow side. I mean, on the fast side, that's kind of fast tracking a book. Some books take much longer than that.
Much longer than that. Now, were you juggling this in a career, or were you strictly an author full time?
Well, it was a personal choice. I became an author full time. I started to write articles, and I had a few articles published really all over the world. I had one published in Australia, one published in London, one published in France, and they were articles about my experience going through breast cancer. And once those were published, I realized, hey, I can write. And I'd always wanted to write, but I was a model predominantly my whole life. And so when I started to write, I really started to enjoy it, and I started to get good at it. And so then I decided to take on the project of writing a novel. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I didn't know if it was going to be published. And it has been published, and it's been very successful, which has been great. But I think going in, if you go in with that attitude of, I'm not sure what this is going to become, and really just give it to the Lord, and if you want this out there, and if he does, and he will, then it's more of a peaceful process. It wasn't that intense kind of worrisome process for me.
Right, and of course you had a supportive family and kids, and they kind of walked beside you essentially through this whole process.
Yes, and let's go back to the Dallas versus Houston love of cities. I don't think there's better people in the world than the women in Dallas, and I think that the women in Dallas, they certainly saved my life, and they just jump on, and they never forsake, and they're wonderful people in Dallas, Texas. So I'd have to say Dallas is the number one city in Texas.
Perhaps it is. I know it's one of the most philanthropic cities
Yeah,
in
it's
the
a wonderful
country.
place.
More, with the North Texas Day of Giving, huge. I mean, I don't know, Michael, do you remember the total? And that was it like 31 million or no,
39 million, I want to say. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That doesn't
around that
surprise me. It's a very generous city, generous people, generous with their souls as well.
And that's just in one day.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they could raise if they did it over a week or a weekend. It might be a lot more. We are talking to Christine Handy. She is the author of a book, Walk Beside Me. So financially, take me through the process financially, what it takes to put a book together. I know nothing about that. If you told me what it took to produce a television show, I could probably give it to you by the penny. But I don't really know what it takes to financially to organize and get a book done.
Well, it's very multifaceted, and that's a very good question. In some cases, an established author has a publisher right away, and the publisher will put up the money for you to write it. I obviously wasn't that. I was a first-time author, and so I supported my writing on my own. And I had the time. So it depends on if you're working a full-time job and doing this on the side as well. For me, I was recovering from chemotherapy, and so I had time at home. I had time to rest. I had time to get in front of my laptop. And so for me, I was capable of doing it. And the first book I used, I had some coaching. Now, the second book I'm writing, I'm doing it all myself. And so it's basically costing me nothing. And because I'm an established author, bringing this book to publishers is a much different story. First book, anytime you do something for the first time, it looks very different. And so, for me, I feel very blessed that I was able to have that time that I could just really focus on the first book. And I spent a long time doing it and taking my time to do it, which made it a lovely process for me. It wasn't a frustrating process because I didn't have deadlines and I didn't have to be at another job. And my kids were older, and so I wasn't, I didn't have a 2-year-old. So it was a lovely time for me. I was very lucky in that regard.
You probably enjoyed it a little bit more because you can take your time. Like you said, it's tough when coming out of the gate when no one knows who you are,
right?
And you're trying to, get your book done, and they're like, Christine who?
Right.
Now they know Christine Handy. Oh yeah, Walk Beside Me.
Right.
Hugely successful book. A little different story.
Right, and you know what? Because I modeled for so long, that became my I am. I am a model. I am this, and that's what you believe. And it took me a long time to go, I am a writer, and feel good about that, which is the place I'm in right now. And I'm an author now, and that's a very different feeling than, what I felt 5 years ago, where I thought maybe that's something that I could never accomplish. So I think that what we say about ourselves really can become who we are. And so we have, which I'm really proud of. So I am an author, I am a writer, and I'm very proud of that.
There you go. Christine Handy joining us in the studio. The book
Brian.
is called Walk Beside Me. You can get that, on Amazon?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, actually, there's only 14 copies left on Amazon right now, so you better get out there and get it.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yes, and it's on,
there you go.
It's on barnesandnoble.com as well. But yes, thank you for saying that, Michael.
And I didn't mention earlier that you were a model, and I'm looking around, and I might be auditioning for the loneliest model in the world with my
in your Speedo.
yellow Speedo.
I do really have a yellow Speedo on. Since we're in the studio and you're in Houston, I can't see you.
I'm going to post up here in a little bit.
Okay.
It's so hard right now because if you saw my setup, you're not going to feel sorry for me. But
No.
it is very challenging. I've got this laptop balanced on a chair, holding my mic. I can't do Facebook Live because that means I've got another hand's got to hold the camera, and I'm like, ugh, I can't do all that. So
you really are at the pool. Is that what you're telling me?
He is at the pool.
Yeah, okay. That's
Time for a break, Brian.
Time for a break, Brian.
Okay, we got to go break. We come back.
We'll be here in your studio.
There you go. Does your office still do a Secret Santa? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. You listen to 620 AM KEXB, your experts in business. Stick around. We are back, 7:33, back out live, 620 AM KEXB, your experts in business. I am Brian Glenn. We are live.
Oh, I got it.
Seasons Hotel here in downtown Houston, and apparently someone is screaming, I got it.
Oh, sorry.
Michael does not know that when the red button's lit, you can hear her mic.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't turn you off once I'm over here.
Sorry, I'm literally in your seat, and it's very exciting, Brian, just to see all of these things around here, all this power.
Hey, Brian came
very
from
careful what button you push.
Brian came from
Take us off the
TV.
air. I don't know if you could technically take us off the air.
She could.
I think.
Oh,
she
this
could.
is exciting. Okay.
Yeah, Brian came from TV, and he was still intimidated by the stuff when he got here.
Now, this is
Yes, I
wild.
was.
This
Yeah.
is a very cool desk that you have that I'm sitting behind with all of this power.
Do not touch very much stuff over there at all.
Okay, I
I'm
won't.
very
I won't.
careful what I do. Christine Handy joining us in the studio. The book Walk Beside Me is out, and you're working on the second book as well.
I am.
What's the due date on that?
I'm about 3/4 of the way finished with the book, but it takes about 9 months to publish it once it's completed.
There you go.
So
Okay.
once it's done, yeah.
Let's talk office culture now. I remember back in the day, and I'm going to say back in the day when I first started. My first job in television was in 1988 at a small station, and I'm not kidding you here. I actually dressed up as the Peacock because it was an NBC station. Highly embarrassing, but we had a great culture back then. We had the Christmas tree in the office. We said Merry Christmas in the office. And, of course, to our Jewish friends, it was Happy Hanukkah. We didn't discriminate there. But it seems like the company culture around the holidays has changed. And I don't know I do know it's because our world has changed and we've become so politically correct that we want to make sure we don't offend anybody else in the office. But I ask you this, and I'll start with you, Christine. Back in your working days, when you actually were not an author all the time, you actually went to an office. Did you guys have an office party? Is that something that you still do?
Well, I was a model, and we went to the agency, and we did have a little office party, but it was usually not at the office. And we did do a Secret Santa, and I believe at the time it was $20 and below. And there weren't any Starbucks cards at the time, Michael. And we were all, most of the models were girls. So, it was a lipstick or things like that.
And it all took place on a yacht.
It all took place on a yacht in San Tropez. No. But it was fun. I mean, listen, my office parties with models was great because you have these beautiful women. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In my mind right now,
Sorry.
we're all dressed up like little Santas.
And
I'm
giving each
having
other
my own party.
lipsticks.
Yeah, I'm having my own party in my head right now about that. But when it comes to gift exchanges, I sampled for the first time the other day a fruitcake. And Christine, I don't know if you're a big fan of the fruitcake.
No, I'm not. I still can't believe they make them. And you know what? It's a hugely successful business.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable how much money those people make.
Are you into fruitcakes, Michael?
I believe that I've had some good ones that were imported from Europe, but nothing that's mass marketed here.
Yeah, they're very. The one I had the other day at Market Street tastes like rum. It was very alcohol, liquor-ish.
Yeah. If you go out to World Market, I think you might be able to find something you like.
Really?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think that HR departments around the country have had this conversation with their management about, do we put up Christmas lights in the office? Do we put up the Christmas tree in the office? Do we have a holiday party, or do we have a Christmas celebration, a Christmas party?
I don't think the lights are the issue. I think the tree might be an issue, and I think they call it a holiday party.
A holiday party.
That's my understanding.
As a Christian, I would not be offended at all if someone put up a menorah in the lobby.
Yes, as a Christian, I wouldn't either. It's not.
Absolutely.
I think it's the other way around, though. That's the problem.
I'm not threatened by that, and I think you've got the 1% to 2%ers of the world that would probably complain to management about having some type of religion-specific party within their office place. But very interesting concept. I read an article just last night about this, and about how a lot of companies now in this day and age are kind of doing away with the holiday parties. A survey went out to employees and said, okay, you can either have a Christmas party or a holiday party, or you'll get a little bonus on your paycheck. And overwhelmingly, the employees wanted the bonus. Go figure, right?
Yeah. It's probably better.
If they asked, yeah, probably so, though. I think that people are like, okay, I got to get dressed up on a Thursday night. Got to go, for the holiday party, go have some rubber chicken and some mashed potatoes and a hard roll and some iced tea. And I can't really drink around my coworkers because that, the truth may come out.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So maybe taking the cash is a safe bet.
What truth is that, Brian, that you like boxed wine?
Yeah, and is it inappropriate to give boxed wine as a Christmas Secret Santa?
It is here at Salem, but I don't know about other places.
Yes. And I love Salem. And by the way, I do want to mention this, and I know this is not really a 6:20 a.m. KEXB initiative, but we have a fantastic toy drive that 94.9 KLTY has put together.
That's right.
And Michael, I don't know what the lobby looks like today, obviously, but yesterday it was starting to fill up with toys.
There's toys. I saw it on my way in. There's a lot of toys.
I don't envy the job of sorting them. No.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I do not want that job. But real quickly, Michael, take 30 seconds if you can, and because you know more about this. What do people need to do? Could they just come up to the station and drop off a toy?
I believe that's all it takes. So first, though, you should go get the details at klty.com. They do have the Christmas Wish is what it's called, 94.9 KLTY Christmas Wish. And you can watch an instructional video about everything there at klty.com. Just click on Christmas Wish. It's about halfway down the page. And they are asking listeners to email their Christmas wishes or nominate somebody to win a Christmas wish from KLTY. And they're giving away cash, and Chick-fil-A is sponsoring it. And there's buttons here to nominate and some to donate money. If you're not going to donate toys, I don't see particularly if they're donating toys. They may just be asking for donations from companies of toys. I'm not sure. So you should go out there and read all of that at klty.com.
Absolutely. And I will say this. I've got a lot of direct messages over the last couple of days about getting that award, the Volunteer of America Difference Maker of 2016 that I was awarded.
Yeah, it's a nifty award.
Yeah. And you know what? I got to say, it kind of sparked an idea in me. And I talked a little bit about it the other day, how I wanted companies, if they want to donate $100 towards their holiday drive, or we'll call it Christmas drive for today's show's sake, that I would, we'll have them come on and talk about their business. If there's a way that we can leverage our relationships and raise funds for what they do, and with so many organizations around North Texas, I would do that. But I also had another one. I was asked to MC an event coming up in December, and so they asked me, hey, what would you charge to come and host our event? And I said, I tell you what, you name the amount, because I'm just going to donate it to a charity.
Good for you. What charity?
And so I think that if we all just in broadcasting, if we all just said, you know what, let's just put our paychecks aside and let's just take our time to donate to charities, we could make a little bit of a difference.
Any particular charity you're thinking about, Brian?
I'm sorry?
Any particular charity you're thinking about?
Well, I just want to. I think I'm just going to donate to the Volunteers of America. They're a fund that helps all these kids and families in need, and people that have been incarcerated and they've gotten out of incarceration that need a kind of just a handout. I mean, not handout. I hate when they say they don't want a handout, they want a hand up. What does a hand up mean? How about just some help? They just need some help, and I think that's what we could do.
I think they need somebody to walk beside them.
Absolutely.
Then they might need to come to Dallas and get some of those women. That would be a good gift exchange, is just to give $10 here or there to charity instead of all these Starbucks gift cards.
There you go. I like that. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we are going to talk to Hillary Rosenstein. She is a public relations manager here at the Four Seasons. And I'm hearing, as we speak, I don't know if it's coming across on the microphone here, but there's jackhammering going on. There's trucks backing up. There's a lot of beeping. There's a lot of construction going on in the downtown area. Now, the Super Bowl, when it goes to a host city, typically brings in about $200 to $800 million to the local economy. That's a lot of beer drinking, I would imagine. If the Cowboys are so blessed to make it to the Super Bowl, I can only imagine that might go over $1 billion, Michael, because North Texans are about ready to end that streak.
It is time for a break now, Brian.
Okay, let's go to a break. We come back. What city is better? I've got a list here. Houston or Dallas? These are fighting words. I'm going to make sure that I don't get tossed in the pool. We are broadcasting live from the Four Seasons here, downtown Houston. Listen to DFW Business Today. You're experts in business. Give it a few minutes. We'll come right back. Stick around. We are back, 7:48 live, downtown Houston, at the Four Seasons Hotel. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful, even it's crisp and cold down here in Houston. I thought I would drive into humidity and hit the AC in my car, and that just was not the case. But it feels nice out here, and as the city's got a lot of energy right now as they get ready to host the Super Bowl coming up in February. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to the PR director here at the Four Seasons about what they've done here at their particular location to get ramped up for all the people coming in town to watch the Dallas Cowboys take on the Houston Texans. See, I just predicted the game for you right there.
Okay, good. Thank you for that.
But there's always a debate on what city is better. Is Dallas better than Houston? This rivalry that's not just in sports, but it's in business. And I've got a list here put on by citiesjournal.com of the top 15 reasons why Dallas is better than Houston. Now, I do have one lonely swimmer that is in the pool right now, and she is doing laps, so I don't think she's listening to me right now, or she might splash some water on me. But I've got a few reasons, and now that I've lived in both cities, and I had this discussion yesterday with someone. I think the traffic in Houston is absolutely horrible, and it's a notch above how bad Dallas is. And I don't know if either one of you guys have spent times here in town.
No, not much in Houston, but the Dallas traffic is getting worse. There's way more people moving to the city, and which is great for the economy, but the traffic is getting much worse. Maybe we can.
Well, I think it's just the growth.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's the
definitely.
growth. It's the economic growth that's going on, and all the construction and
So much construction.
Adding lanes and all the good stuff.
I think we should take a stab at that article that you're talking about. We should guess what are the top 10.
Okay.
So Michael and I will guess.
Well, okay, here we go. The first category on here, sports. Survey, do you think Houston has better sports than Dallas?
No.
No.
Michael?
No.
He said no. We said no.
I would agree with you on that, only because the Rangers have pulled out World Series.
How about the Mavericks?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Mavericks, of course, but the Rockets did back-to-back as well in 94, 95, so they've got their NBA championships. On the football side, there's no denying that, yes, we had the Houston Oilers here for a long time, but that they went away to the Titans and now the Houston Texans. So I think Dallas has the category for sports. I agree with you on that.
What does the article say? Does it say Dallas or Houston?
The article says Dallas.
Okay, we were right.
Is a much better, and of course we have NHL hockey as well. Then they don't have that here in Houston. They did at one point.
And we have a soccer team now.
What's that?
We have a soccer team now.
We have a
Frisco.
soccer team. We have NASCAR and Texas Motor Speedway, and we have over 200 golf courses in the city. Houston only has, for the record, 165.
Oh, that's a good fun fact.
Yeah, we have 100. We have 200. They have 165.
Wow.
Okay,
So-
moving on to the next topic is air quality. Now,
Oof.
let me just. This is not even an argument here. Yeah.
Well, let's just
Dallas
say they're
has-
both not great. For one, let's just throw that out there.
Well-
They're both not great. Yeah, I have a son.
have you-
I have a son that has asthma, and this is a difficult city to live in for him.
Definitely.
But I would say Houston's worse, but I would say Dallas ain't great.
Well, Houston is widely regarded with synonymous with filthy air.
Yeah.
I mean, the air here is, and it's due to the large industry that's here.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have, it would be way worse if you didn't have Gulf, the winds coming off the Gulf that would kind of blows this stuff inland.
And the massive amounts of rain. The rain washes stuff out of the
sorry?
air, too.
The sideways
Yes.
rain in November here in Dallas.
Oh, no. In Houston.
Oh.
They get so much rain down there. It would be pretty much unlivable if they didn't have all that rain to wash away the pollution in the air.
Really?
You would think that automobile pollution was the main culprit of all of this, because Houston, we talked about this in the break, major city, a lot of people, of course, in Texas in general, it's a very automotive city. You have to have a car to get around. It's not like New York City where you can live and you don't really need a car, right?
No, they're not walking cities. Yeah.
Yeah. But the culprit here for all of the dirty air is because of the large industrial Yeah, and natural gas production here is huge, no less. But Dallas, as you said, is not it doesn't get out of here squeaky clean. We've got our
we have the red days, we have the air quality days, we have the purple days. We have that stuff.
Yeah. So we can both agree that Dallas
is a winner
again.
Yes,
it's a winner. Again,
Dallas is a winner
in the air quality. It's a winner. Moving on to other topics, they got topics on nightlife and quality of life. But here's one: better weather. Now, I've lived in both Houston and Dallas. I will say this: obviously, in the Houston market, you're not going to worry about the ice. Okay?
Michael's turning his head.
No.
You're not worried about the ice.
He's turning his head.
He's turning his head.
He's nodding back and forth.
Yeah.
He's already annoyed.
Yes,
The weather.
Feel the frustration.
On the flip side, Houston has their fair share of hurricanes, and of course, Hurricane Ike came through here. Skirted the areas more of the Galveston, Southeast Texas, Southwest Louisiana area, but nevertheless, they have their share of floods, hurricanes, things like that. But I got to say this though: the most peskiest thing about the climate down here is not the humidity, it's not the rain, it's not the occasional hurricane, anything like that. It is the mosquito. The mosquitoes are the size of small chihuahuas here in this town.
I feel like they're about like that here in Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, they're
worse in Houston?
In Dallas, we have tornadoes.
They're worse in Houston? The mosquitoes are worse in Houston?
I think they're amped up on the petrochemical industry. I think that has them all.
And they're hotter because it's more humid there. They're hotter, so they're more uncomfortable. They try to sting more.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, let's turn our attention to entertainment now. Dallas wins on as far as shows. Of course, we know the Walker Texas Ranger, and of course the show Dallas, all that.
Prison Break
was shot, in Dallas.
Yeah.
So
I was on Walker Texas Ranger.
Were you really? That does not surprise me.
Yes, I literally
was. What was your role, by the way? What did you do in that?
Well, I was an extra that turned into a one-time episode that I was actually a real person on it. But I went on to my honeymoon with my husband in Paris, and I was on they had Walker Texas Ranger, the show in French, and it happened to be the episode that I was on.
Yeah.
I was watching in France. It was hilarious.
I'll bet that
was pretty cool.
I'll bet that Chuck Norris's accent doesn't come through quite the same in French.
No.
Yeah,
it really is funny. But that was a good little show we had going on here.
It is amazing how overseas they're addicted to the Texas lifestyle.
Yes,
and they're addicted to Dallas.
Yes, they are.
For
they're
some
addicted
reason.
to Dallas, the show, and Texas Ranger. Yeah.
And you wouldn't hear them necessarily say that they're addicted to the Houston culture, even though it's more.
True.
I think Houston's more cowboy sometimes than Dallas is, because Dallas is kind of metro.
Yes, it is.
It's not to say that Houston's not, but it just seems like there's more. On this list as well, some of the reasons why Dallas could quite honestly be better than Houston is they said that celebrities love Dallas.
Really?
Now, yeah, and I guess because of the metro, kind of upscale appeal that it has, although Houston is a close second behind this. And I don't know if you've been down here in the last, 5 years. There's so much development down here that it is a major metropolitan area. The Galleria is one of the best shopping areas that I've ever seen in my entire life. And of course, we have Galleria in Dallas as well. So
1 minute, Brian.
Okay. And just overall, they're saying an impressive economy. We all know that the economy in Houston is mainly petrochemical based, although they are very diversified. There's Fortune 500 companies in both cities. But according to this research, Dallas-Fort Worth is one of the leading cities in the country with the most Fortune 500 companies that are headquartered there. You've got AT&T, Sprint, ExxonMobil, Radio Shack, 7-Eleven, American Airlines,
right?
Tech TI, tons of them. So anyway, Christine, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me as your co-host. I'm so honored, and I loved sitting in your seat.
There you go. And, of course, get the book. Go out to Amazon, order it.
Walk Beside Me.
Walk Beside Me. Or you find it at ChristineHandy.com, right?
Yes. Or Barnes & Noble.
There you go. All right, well, stick around. We've got more 6:20 a.m. ahead. We've got the PR manager here at the Four Seasons sitting poolside with me right now. We're going to talk to her on the other side of the break. You listen to 6:20 a.m. KEXB, your experts in business.